is a film about home. And for me, I am a co-director of this film, and me and my co-director are both really interested in the idea of home. I was a military kid, she was a global development kid. We both moved around every 2 years, and so the idea that somebody had a home for 70 years and was suddenly not going to have that home anymore was both like incredibly interesting. Like, how does somebody live somewhere for 70 years?
Yeah.
And also like, oh man, I know what that feels like, but in a much less intense degree. So we had the ability to relate to them in the kind of pain they were going through, but also had the curiosity to value what they valued.
I'm a third culture kid too, so
Right on, you know the term.
I do, yeah. So that is really interesting, the idea of what home means.
Yeah, what is home?
Yeah. Can you talk about how you explored that through the film? What does home actually mean? Because it does mean different things to different people.
So the title of the film, Even the Walls, is taken from a Russian proverb, which means when you're home, even the walls help you. So we asked everyone this, and everyone had kind of a different take. I can't speak for everyone, but for the residents of Yesler Terrace, who are the characters of this film, they believe that the walls are kind of ephemeral. They matter. They are there. They are the structure that held them all together. But the walls for them are the community, are the actual people in the structure. So I think we all know that home means family. And so anything that means family to you is your home. And if you live in a neighborhood for your whole life, whether you're 9 and you've lived there for 9 years, or you're 90 and you've lived there for 70 years, if your family is being dispersed, if half of them is agreeing to stay in a place and half of them is leaving, and another portion of them are undecided, then you feel undecided. You feel lost. You don't know what's going to happen to your family.
Absolutely. Now, for people who don't know too much about the film itself, can you give us a small story arc without revealing too much? Sure. We got to leave mystery in there.
Sure. So the film follows 9 residents of Yesler Terrace, and it asks them, each of the residents has their own story arc. Who are they? Where are they from? Why they've chosen to stay in Yesler Terrace for so long? Why Yesler Terrace has impacted them as a human? And what's next? Like, how do they feel about what's happening to them? So the story arc is a personal one. It's kind of a StoryCorps meets Humans of New York, kind of like a very curious and loving, empathetic piece.
Do you feel like there's a little bit in each one of these people that most people can kind of connect to?
That's hard to say. They're all really different people. So there's a couple of 12-year-olds, a boy and a girl. There's an 82-year-old man who's, he's Filipino, his wife's Native American. There is a couple from Kurdistan, and they don't have a country anymore. So there's a lot to relate to, depending on who you are.
I think especially with what's going on globally, so many people being dispersed from their home and having to start up in a totally new place where language is different and culture is different, this seems like such a timely story to tell. Did that inform your storytelling?
I think that, so there are 2 things happening when we made the piece. One is that there weren't and there continue to be no hard and fast answers to what will happen next to Yesler Terrace. And so there was no way to say, residents, what do you think is going to happen? And then Seattle Housing Association, what do you think is going to happen? Because that would create distrust. So there's not a lot of fact in the film. There's a lot of emotion and there's a lot of personal storytelling. And I think that's what helps people connect to the film more than anything, because you can learn facts really easily through Wikipedia, through a newspaper story. And this is a neighborhood that's quickly evolving and developing. And like you said, this is happening all over the globe. So everyone's neighborhood is quickly evolving and developing as people become shifted because of natural disasters and war and economic status. And so when you ask people, why is that happening? They might not have an answer that connect to your heart. But if you ask them how they feel about it happening, that's a really easy thing to connect to.
Well, and I think especially right now, so many of us look at the idea of home and people who are being dispersed as the problem's so huge. So I think it's so beautiful that you made it small. That it's really a story of one person or 9 people, and that is what I think all of us can really relate to. And I know the Twin Cities Film Fest was so excited to have your film. So good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming. We're really excited to be screening this film today. So thanks again for coming.
Thank you.